I have this 330 GTC at my shop. It's been on other videos that I've shot, which I'll put the link down below. But the latest thing on this car that I've decided to kind of address is the cooling on this car. A lot of us, what we do is when we have these old cars, we'll just take them out on a nice quiet Sunday morning or where it's not too much traffic, it's a nice cool day. But it seems that this owner, when he has time, he wants to use his car. And the problem with that is a lot of these old cars, they don't really love to sit in traffic. And what happens is when they were designed, there wasn't that much traffic around. So they didn't, they got hot, they overheated a little bit, but by the time, they started to get a little hot, the traffic would clear and then they would drive. I mean, in the 60s, there just really wasn't stop and go traffic like there is today. But if you drive this car like a regular car, you're going to get stuck in traffic. I mean, all around the country, there are places in California, there's places in Northern California, Southern California. I could think all over this country, there is traffic everywhere. I mean, I'm very fortunate to live in a part of the country where there just isn't as much traffic. It's less populated, but most people live in areas where there's going to be traffic. And so you, as an old car owner, you either avoid it or you have to kind of get the car so it can handle it. Most issues that we have with cars that overheat is the cooling fans. These cooling fans that Ferrari use, they put by this age they put a double row of cooling fans in, and they recognized that they needed to push more air in. Admittedly, some of these cars had air conditioning. They also recognized that they needed to get more coolant through. What you'll notice a lot of times on these old cars is as you get stuck in stop and go traffic, the temperature gauge will start to go up into the into the 90 to 100 degrees Celsius area, almost towards boiling point. But the second you start moving, the temperature drops. Even if it's an 80 or 90 degree day, it'll stay at a perfectly good steady state once air is moving through the radiator. I believe that the radiator is sized so it can handle the amount of cooling it needs to provide, provided there's air pushing through the radiator. What's interesting is on my 330 America, which is basically the same engine as we find in the GTC, earlier what they did was they had a belt-driven fan that kind of pulls air, from the radiator. And they started to realize that that wasn't really enough. If you look at the efficiency of this thing, it's pulling air through the radiator. And again, it was just simply because that's all they needed back then. It wasn't that efficient because they didn't really feel like it needed the amount of air to go through the radiator to cool things down. I mean, you could see it's just really inefficient, just kind of pulls air through. And a lot of cars from the 50s and 60s, you could see had the very similar design. And I was using this car a little bit where I wanted to make it a little bit more efficient and a little bit more usable for the road. So what I did do was I added a modern fan. I don't know if you can see that. You could just see the shroud, but it's mounted to the front of the radiator. And what that does is pushes a lot more air through the radiator and more efficiently. And on top of that, it's a more efficient motor, and it was able to keep this car relatively cool. Now, is it the most efficient? It might not be, because I also feel like on this car, what I've noticed from personal experience, 90 degree day, yeah, it'll hold it just barely. It just barely keeps up, but it's enough for me to know that I can idle in a certain amount of traffic. A couple of years ago, I took it up to Canada, and I was stuck in the customs line, and it managed to make it through. But it was a good hot 90 some odd degree day, and I just made it through. But this car is efficient enough in the cooling for me to keep this car idling in traffic. But I also know that I don't like to do it. If I can avoid it, I picked the time that I would go where the line wasn't as bad, or drive it when there's not much traffic. However, because I'm always conscious, and I guess it goes back to what I always preach about mechanical sympathy, I just don't want to put my car through it. I try my best to know that, this 60 some odd year old car is just, that's just the way it is. It's not handling, it wasn't made to handle that type of traffic. So what I do here on this 330 is I don't know how this guy is. I can tell him that, you know, you got to be careful, you can't overheat it, but I think I need to make this car a little bit more efficient than what I did with my 330 America. And I have done this with other GTCs. I have another customer of mine that lives in Florida, and you know, there just isn't any cool weather in Florida, period. So I put a system in his car that seems to keep the car cool fairly well. Now, I also know that my customer in Florida knows that he doesn't like to drive it in hot weather, and he doesn't like to get in traffic, but he knows that he will get caught in traffic. So he seems to keep the car cool and doesn't overheat. Now, that could be a different customer, because this customer may just use the car and say, I got to drive. And I've heard stories of this car just basically driving in some of the worst traffic on the worst days you could possibly can, because that was the only day that they could do it. And then they had issues with, you know, whether it was vapor lock or whether it was overheating and the car was not happy. I'm going to try to replicate those issues so I can know what this car is doing. I'm not going to be happy about doing it, but that's part of trying to make sure that this car can handle all the things it's going to do. But the first thing I'm going to do is upgrade the cooling system. So I've already drained the radiator. I may have to pull the radiator out to do the mounting. I'm going to check, but I'm going to remove these old fans. The other problem that we have is these fans are made by Lucas, so they're also really inefficient. They draw a lot of power, so they also tax the cooling system or the charging system on the car. The fans are too far away from the radiator core, so they're really not doing a lot of cooling to this radiator. So what I'm going to do is see what I can do as far as eliminating these fans. We'll put them in a box, they'll go with the car, but if this guy is going to drive it the way it is, we need to put a modern fan in. So what I have planned for this car is this. This is a dual fan, pretty thin. If you look at how thin this is, it's one of the thinnest fans you can buy, but it pushes quite a bit of air. And what it does is it will fit right in between the right in front of the radiator. So what I have to decide is whether or not I can keep the original fans in place, disconnect them, or I'm going to just slide this in. So we're going to fit this in and show you. But this should run and put a lot more air through that cooling fan. I'll also work on the electrics to make sure it's relayed and everything else like that. But yeah, this is the way to go. Okay, I'm just about done with the new fan installation. I ended up using or reinforcing a bracket, pop riveting it to the plastic, and then creating a little metal bracket that secured it to the radiator. So that top piece is pretty well secured. I got a little bracket further down that kind of holds it in place against the radiator. Now this fan is tight up against the radiator, and everything that blows through this fan, these dual fans, are going to go right through the radiator and cool it through. So now all I have to do is just put the hood back on and take it out for a test drive. Okay, let me show you what I got going on. Got the car up to temperature. You just heard the fans kick on. Temperature is at like a little above 90. You can see the ammeter is pulling. So it's pulling a little bit, like 15 amps. So that shows that the fans are working. But what's neat is, as it's running, I can see the temperature dropping. I mean, as it's running, I can see the temperature dropping as it's cooling. Look at that, it just dropped a couple degrees. And then now you can see the fan just shut off because now it's not drawing any amperage at all. So it's about, let's see what we got here. If I were to show you on the thermostat, it's about 80 degrees in here. So just 80 degrees in the you know, ambient temperature. And let's just cycle through this one more time. I'll just rev it up a little bit to run the temperature up. You can also see oil temperature is probably running about 70, 75 degrees Celsius. Okay, it should kick on any minute. We'll take a look over here and you'll see it. There it goes. See it? So that's the electric fans kicking on. That's the temperature. It's just a little bit above, you know, maybe just about 100 degrees Celsius. You can see it dropping. That's it, just kicked off. You just heard it kick off. So let's take a look inside the engine compartment as this thing's running. Just rev it a little bit. Get up the temperature, you'll see the fans turn on. So right now everything's off. I got a temperature here. Radiator's reading about 194, 195. Should be kicking on soon. These fans are designed to just pull air. I mean, that's the problem with these cars overheating, is there's not enough air going through the radiator. So I think we got it. The next test is to put the hood on, drive it in some really hot weather. I mean, it's about 85 degrees today, but I'm going to put the hood back on, take it out for a drive, get the oil hot, so that way it's not only cooling the coolant on the car, but it's also going to be cooling the oil. That'll be the real litmus test, but that's coming up next. All right, I got the hood back on. I got the everything buttoned back up, and I'm just taking it out for a quick drive, get temperature up, and then we're gonna see how everything works. It's kind of a warm day. It's not super warm. It's probably like 80, 75, 80, you know, so it's really about just trying to get some temperature in the oil and coolant. It's really just to get the temperature going, because I've already checked it. Everything seems to be working correctly. So I just want to run down the road real quick, take you along for a quick drive. Sunday morning, not a lot of traffic, so I can just take it out for a quick rip. Actually, I might not have a lot of gas here. Yeah, there should be enough gas. I mean, it's a little bit above quarter. I think what happens is the tank kind of goes to a low fuel setting when I'm moving around. All in all, it's generally a good car. Feels good. I mean, my main thing is just to get it so that it is a little bit more reliable or a little bit more tolerant of heat, because it looks like these guys are just going to drive this car in all sorts of weather, and so I have to kind of test it in all sorts of conditions. Now, do I do that with all of my customers? Well, generally I drive my customers' cars in regular weather and regular conditions, but I don't really stress them out, which I guess I should. But stressing them out is kind of like, you know, what do I do? Do I get them to overheat? I don't know if that's a good thing necessarily. But I also check to make sure cooling fans are working. I do that. I check to make sure the fuel and all that stuff is working in regular operating conditions. But the last couple times that they took this car out, they put it in some extreme traffic, which was a lot of stop and go traffic, a lot of heat, hot day, and the car didn't like it. And I think it really attributed it all to the radiator just not being able to lower the temperature. So really it's just up to me to try to get this thing to work a little bit better. That's why I put the modern fan in. I've been waiting for a hot day to drive this car to really stress test it, and just coincidentally we haven't gotten really hot days. It's been in the 70s and 80s, which is hot but not super hot. Ironically, this week we're going to get into the 90s, so maybe if I have time I'll take it out and run it on a 90-degree day and see what happens. I mean, today is just a beautiful day. I mean, it's like, it's probably not even 80. It's probably like 75 degrees and just low humidity, glorious. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. But I also looked at the weather forecast, and it looks like it's going to end by Monday or Tuesday. Today's Sunday. It's supposed to be high humidity. Get this heat dome that's heading this way. So it's kind of nice to be able to drive this car on such a nice day. But not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be driving this car on a hot day and see what happens. But, so nice. Had to take it out for a quick drive. In the sun, it's like 93. In the shade, it's showing 66, 65, 75. So it's like a 75, 80 degree day. And you can hear now the fans are running again. We have an 85 degree temperature setting. And it's dropping, it's 182, 185, 181. Obviously the radiator is going to read different temperatures everywhere. And it just cycled off again. So that means it's keeping cool. So I think it's going to be okay. I mean, I could drive it, pull it outside and take a look if it'll do differently outside. So, I mean, let's just try that a little bit. I mean, we still have ambient temperature out. It's still pretty cool. So, I mean, I think the air temperature is still low. It's the radiant heat from the sun, it's hot. So let's just see what happens here. But I could tell you right now that the air temperature I could feel is probably in the 70s. I'll leave the hood closed for now. You can hear the cooling fans running. I wonder if you can feel heat coming out. A little bit of heat coming out from under the engine compartment. Oh, just shut down. So, I mean, it's cycling through. I mean, I think the only test is just to really let them drive it and see what happens. But I mean, it seems to be doing okay. Today's, like I said, not super hot. I might try to, if I still have the car later this week when it's in the 90s, I'll do the same thing. Maybe, let's say 10 degrees hotter and see what happens. For now, I think we're in good shape. So thanks for watching.